Welcome to Bars and Threads, featuring appearance of Hip Hop Head, Jhob 360, Hip Hop Historian, lyrics on point to fashion and sneakers to no end. Episode 7. What up, people? I know it feels like it's been a while, but I got a lot of things I have to address, especially these reviews for these albums. On top of that, I want you to please subscribe, like, and comment. Very much appreciated on the Instagram channel, link in the description, or right here on YouTube in the comments, and I'll get right back at you. So I just want to come out with another episode addressing Air Force Ones being a dad sneaker. But this is episode 7, and this is the Check the Rhyme, y'all, chapter. Or I should say episode. But we're going to address the Air Force Ones being a dad sneaker. Talking about all the colors. Then we're going to get into music. Right now, I'm going to jump right into the music right away. Smith & Wesson, if you did not get that album, it is a fire album. It's called Infinity. I rated it 5 mics. Not only is it a good listen, but they dropped a lot of gems throughout the entire album. Shout out to Tech Steel. Please go and check that out if you have not checked that out. That album is fire. I also have another album coming up by the name of Rick Hyde. I gave him 4 mics. He's part of BSF. His album was called In Plain Sight. A big standout from the Black Soprano family and Benny. I definitely like this album. The songs were short but different. So that's why I gave Rick 4 mics, because I just felt like if the songs were a little longer, some of the songs were a little longer here and there, I probably would have gave you a 5 mic on that one, brother. And congrats on the 4 mic and the shout out. I don't know if that was your first album, not sure, but let me continue on. The third review coming up right now would be 38 Special, Mother and a Gun. Definitely deserve 4.5. I'm not going to give you 5 mics on that one. He's also coming off 5 albums and consistent work for the year. Shout out to 38 Special. All the albums that I just mentioned, like the 5 albums I'm talking about, are listed on the Instagram page. And if you get a chance to lock in and check them out, they'll be on there. The next album I had to rate, and I felt like that it was important to rate it, is Jim Jones' Jomo. Not the new album, but the Jomo album. I gave it 3.5 to 4 mics. It's good, worth checking out. And Jim has released 2 albums in a year. Great consistency. With all Jim Jones is doing, better than Nas. I can't believe I even let that come out my mouth the way I just said that. There's nothing that Jim Jones is doing better than Nas, and that was some complete sarcasm. But shout out to Jim Jones. I actually rated that between 3.5 and 4 mics. The reason why is because I just think that the role of senior citizen fits him well, because on this particular album he tried to blend into like more of the cultural ages when it came to beats and things like that. And I'm not saying, Jim, that's not a good thing, but you still have improved yourself lyrically at a state where I think that you can go into that lane and feel comfortable without doing a feature with it. But I still gave you good ratings, 3.5, 4 mics. That's pretty good, Jim. And you have stepped it up. Dipset for life. You know what I mean? Next album I want to review is KRS-One. I gave this a 5 mic album. It's called Global Awareness. I tried to find a reason why he didn't deserve a 5 mic, but he made me want to increase the number. Like he needed more than just 5 on this one to me. One of his best albums, definitely an iconic classic, boom bap rap, 24-25 straight bars. I mean, and plus it's got that early, coming off that 88, 89 feel going into the early 90s / today. But I mean, he didn't try to chase genres and do something out of his lane. He did that in his lane, but it was in true fashion, and I had to give him 5 mics. So shout out to KRS-One, the teacher. On top of that, there was another album that came out by the name of Calvin Brodus. We talking about Snoop Doggy Dogg. I gave this album Missionary because he had Dr. Dre on there. Now, come on, you cannot not listen to a Snoop and Dre produced album. Then you got producers like Pharrell on there. I mean, they went bananas on this album. I gave him 4.5 mics. It's Snoop and Dre. That's the biggest part about it right there. It was a few songs that came short, but it definitely was worth the listen. He had 2 albums, but the Dre and Snoop album is by far a classic album. I didn't give it 5 because I just felt like, some of them songs on there could have been a lot better. It could have been a little bit more consistent with the Dre and Snoop. You going from Doggy Style to Missionary. I mean, it was an ill concept. So I kind of wanted to push the bar, but 4.5 is where it's supposed to be at. All right, I got another album coming up by the name of Nims. It's called America's Sweetheart. Bing bong. Shout out to Nims and crew. All them Coney Island gorillas out there. I give this album 3.5 to 4 mics. It's definitely a good album, but it sometimes has bars that sounds like each song's pattern to be like the last one. Like it was a little bit more repetitious sounding with his bars. I'm not saying that he said the same thing, but his bars started, and his cadence is dope, but it didn't determine a 5 mic album based on like some of the beats was like okay. They wasn't like hard hitting based on what he raps about. So, I mean, it's nothing bad about Nims. I actually give it to him. He started the whole bang bong movement. Shout out to Coney Island. But again, I mean, Nims is putting in that work. So what can I say? That Zoo song is crazy work. So shout out to Nims. Another album coming up, and it's by the name of Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco came out with an album called Samurai. In case you people don't know, it's actually all of these albums and these album reviews will be on the Instagram page. Please follow to stay locked in. And again, subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content live so you can actually see it and see what I'm talking about here. Lupe Fiasco, 4 to 4.5 mics for Samurai. Classic Lupe, bars are no joke. Beat selection is okay. But this is definitely a better vibe for those who, like the, just to think a little bit. This is definitely on a level of you really listening to hip hop and you really staying tuned in to the bars because he really spits a lot of bars, and I got to give it to Lupe. Shout out to Lupe. 4 to 4.5 for Samurai. Then I got my man Sari the Kid. If I said it wrong, I apologize, but bro, I got to give it to you. Your consistency is crazy. He's dropped about 3 albums consistently. This album was called The Last Shadow in the Shade. I gave him 4.5 mics on that. If you have never heard this kid, I'm going to tell you what he did too. I respect the 3 album consistencies. Not only did he create albums for every genre, coming with My Next X and Sorry Not Sorry 2, but this guy's just been consistent, and he did an auto-tune album just for like people who like auto-tune, who want to be in that lane. But the first album he did before that was The Last Shadow in the Shade, and those lyrics on there are wow. Like, I mean, he was a little bit away from that 5 mic part, but Sari's there, because if I had known that he was doing a whole nother auto-tune album, I probably would have gave him 5 mics and just like grouped it all together and just gave it to him, because he deserves it. He put in that crazy work too. So shout out to Sari the Kid. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me in the comments. I apologize to Sari the Kid. Hey, come on now, we're gonna keep on moving right here. And I gave Redman, my guy, my Jersey standout. Had to give for Muddy Waters 2, I gave Redman 4 mics. It has a lot of great features, but Red's beat selection is more for his hardcore fans. I'm one of them, so I can understand why it's Not gonna be the same for somebody who's like just listening to Redman or just tuning into him. But it's definitely worth checking out. Not even close to the first Muddy Waters. The first Muddy Waters is still a 5 mic classic. But 4 mics read based on your beat selection, your bars is always killer. Them skits on there is always killer. I just want to be honest here with everybody. I just feel like 4 mics was really pushing it too, because I know a lot of people are looking at me like, yo man, do you like this guy? Yeah, I do like Red, but I have to go by the bars a lot too, more than just dope beats. I like everything together, and I like that balance to be perfect. That's why a lot of people are almost there, but they're not. You know what I mean? Because it's about checking boxes, and I know people are like looking at me like, who are you to tell people to check boxes? I'm a lyricist also, and it's just certain things that I look for in the cadence and the lyrical miracle way it's put together. But that doesn't mean I like just lyrical miracle. It's just some people who just put it together well. So we're gonna keep it moving because that's how I felt about that. Now we're gonna get right down to business. I'm gonna address this real fast. Since Air Force Ones are dad shoe to the younger people, please stop buying them. Every color, you can have the little Yachties. You know, no disrespect to the little Yachty. Shout out to Yachty. You can have even certain ones that, you know, I just felt like that. Why even come out with the shoe? But since you feel that way about the Blancos or the Negros, the black ones, if you feel that way, stop wearing them. Maybe the price will go back to normal, you know, because a lot of y'all don't understand that shoe has been around for a very long time. It's older than some of the people wearing the shoe. You know, the style of it is still older than some of the people wearing the shoe. So when we want to have opinions about people's fashion and what's dad and what's dad this and grandpa that, and it's all about that ageism again, right? Sound familiar? Me, I'm gonna wear what I like to wear. I'm tired of people gatekeeping what's supposed to be nice and what's not supposed to be nice. You stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in my lane. We in 2 separate lanes, you know, but just addressing that, I don't care what young people don't like or they feel is dad shoes. I don't like no clown shoes, no big shoes, but my opinion is an opinion. It's not something I want the world to know. You know, I mean, y'all go from dog Air Force One, certain cultures, you know what I'm saying, to now banning it because it's a dad shoe. All right. Have fun with that. You know what I'm saying? Episode 8. I'm excited about that. It is on the way. It might be a couple days right after this one. This one was late because of technical difficulties. I had to get a few more things together to make sure that episode 7 was on point. The Hip Hop Quotable was actually a 98 freestyle, and that was Big Pun and Fat Joe. Dope freestyle that was actually put up probably a few days ago, so you're already aware of what that is. Episode 8 is definitely on the way. What else I want to say? Joe 360, lyricist, hip hop head, on point to fashion and sneakers to no end, hip hop historian, and I'm out.